Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome. Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I'm your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And I apologize for everything being broken. If you notice, behind me is broken as well, which is great. Ads are on because I forgot to undo that. So that's good. Let me fucking fix that. Oh, amazingly, it's ads, but my monetization is limited already. So that's good. I'm reviewing it right now. But it's not supposed to have ads. There we go. The replay should have some ads. But not the live. Okay, so as you can see, behind me is a disaster. That is because my air conditioner was mostly installed today, but it's only mostly installed, so my room is still a mess because they have to come back tomorrow to finish it. My AC is not actually operating yet. And by the way, to all you little chuckleheads out there who are like, oh, why would you hire someone to put in your AC? You can just do it yourself. Yeah. First of all, you don't know me. I can't do that. Second of all, even if you did know me and I could do that, I probably wouldn't have been able to do it today because apparently the bunker is not just in a cinder block housing. That was the I knew there's concrete on the other side of these drywall walls. There's concrete, which is fine. Except usually that means up here in Minnesota that means it's cinder block. You know, those little like 8 looking things, they look like an 8. Right? But square, blocky, like a calculator 8. And they've got these big gaps of space in the middle. No, this is reinforced concrete with it's solid concrete straight through. It's rebar and all of that stuff. And they had to drill like 3 different holes to try and not have their drill bit run into the rebar. So it took them hours just to get through the fucking wall. The guy's like, you'd be safe from a bomb down there. I'm like, what up? So yeah, it took them 3 hours to get through the wall. So it took them forever to to try and get the thing mounted. They finally did, but there's something they have to finish tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's a vault, but it's just a gun safe. Like, it's just a walk-in gun safe in the house, I thought. But apparently, maybe it's a Faraday cage. Maybe Epstein built it. Maybe there's a secret cache of data hidden somewhere. I don't know. But, yeah. So it was a mess today. And now my office is still a mess because, well, there's dust everywhere. Turns out that when you're drilling through 8 or 9 inches or whatever of concrete, that it makes a lot of dust. So that being said, it's not super warm in here yet because I haven't been working in my office all day. That was the one good thing. But tomorrow will be apparently activation day. And then I can actually put everything back where it goes in my room, which would be nice. All right. So that being said, a couple different things on the agenda. First of all, a sappy but not as sappy as Yellow Flash watching Gundam Thank you to everybody who subscribes to this channel and who keeps showing up. I passed, it's not like a regular milestone or anything, but it's an even number, and that means it's important, I guess. But I passed 170,000 subscribers last night. YouTube will probably take them away, but it's trending still up towards being over that 170,000 permanently, which is pretty cool. And you know, I happened to see it. I actually snapped a picture when it was at 169,999, and then you know, so then it passed into 170, which is again, as someone who started this with no intention of doing YouTube, it's a pretty cool little achievement, right? I did not upload a video to YouTube to do YouTube. I didn't know where else to put it, so I could share it in a Facebook group. That was the whole idea behind the first lol suit video that I uploaded, was to put this video up on Facebook. And I think it was too long. It was like an hour, and I couldn't upload an hour-long video to Facebook, or I'm an idiot and couldn't figure it out. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But the idea was that I was just putting the video somewhere that could host it. And that has turned into this, and that's pretty cool. That is a pretty cool thing. So I keep getting told, like, every day by various people on law Twitter, not every day anymore, but it was for a while, but various people on law Twitter or whatever will insist that my channel is dying, that I'm probably going into bankruptcy, that since I took a PPP loan, that meant that my business was over or something, which doesn't make, I don't know how that makes any sense, but okay. All of that, you know, has been going on. It was really getting to me. It was really getting to me to know that they were right, but now they're not. So, but yeah, so, like I said, a big gay thanks to everybody, who subscribes. It really does mean a lot. And, it's such a silly thing that has grown into, like a serious, but still silly thing. So thank you to the next set. I think, does that deserve liquor? Can I drink liquor for that? I think so. So this is from my main man, with the plan, RZEQDW. You'll see him in the chat sometimes. He gave this to me at Matsuri. It's a 10-year whistle pig. I think it's a perfect time to crack it open. Crack open a room temperature one with the boys and gals. I had to wash my glass out before the show because there was dust everywhere. Where are the Greer lips? I don't even know. I don't know where they are. Lady Rackets hid them because the kids were helping out in the room, and she's like, that makes me uncomfortable. So I don't know where they are right now. But we have a couple topics to talk about tonight. I have done a big disservice to the chat, and it's on me. And let me explain what happened. Someone who is now weirdly adjacent to this show is being sued. And that someone is the Critical K, right? This is someone who is involved somehow in the doxing of Ken Jennings, was one of the fat mads. And was somehow, I think, moderately involved in Spectre or whatever. But the Critical K is being sued. She's one of the Kelly Long little T-tuber shills or whatever, along with like Callie with the T and all that stuff. Okay? What I didn't know is that I know the lawyer suing her. So I had no idea that he was running the case. And so now I'm going to look into it more. He messaged me the other day and he didn't talk about this case at all. He just messaged me. I hadn't talked to him in a while. And so it's cool. And then I go and I look at this case and he's on it. And I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, it's I had no idea. And that's on me. I should have looked at the lawsuit sooner. I would have noticed. So yeah, I don't know. I very much doubt that anything like will happen with interviews or anything about the case. I don't think that's going to be the case here, but I will be covering it. I mean, I'll ask, but if the attorney or the client wants to come on and talk about it, they're welcome to. But my policy. I leave that up to them because I don't want to mess with anything on the case. So anyway, we might take a peek at what's going on in that lawsuit. I have a couple short things to cover real quick. What we're mainly going to do tonight, the main bit is, and I'm going to let people filter in as we do, but the main bit is Russell Greer has filed a new motion in his ongoing lawsuit against Joshua Moon, the former owner of Kiwi Farms, before he sold it to Matt Jarbo. Eldon, I will. So that being said, that is the main focus of tonight. That is the main place we're going. People have been asking me to cover this. They asked me to cover Ethan Van Sciver's updates in his lawsuit. There's not a ton to cover in Ethan's lawsuit because didn't I go through that document? Or did I just talk to Ethan about a couple spots of it? Maybe that's what happened. But Ethan, has filed his response to Preston Poulter. I just can't remember if we went through it or if I just remember reading it. But so that one is there. I don't know if we're going to go through that tonight or not. Like I said, it's I feel like I went through it, but if I didn't go through it, then maybe I need to. No, there's no Vic news. Maybe Thursday, maybe never at this point. Who knows? I did highlights. Okay. Gotcha. What about our boy Zach? I don't think he's not in a lawsuit. So I don't know what that is. Oh, we made fun of the lawyer's typos. Okay, that's what it was. So yeah, there were like 2 or something. But yeah, he submitted the final copy. So maybe we can go through that. I have a couple short news stories. I mean, there's a big news story that dropped. I did a short video on it. The big news story is that Sidney Powell, Rudy Giuliani, and Mike Lindell have all lost on their motions to dismiss against Dominion. So that will be going to trial, it'll be moving on past the initial dropping. So they're going to have to file their answers, and then they will have to engage in discovery, I guess. So maybe that's maybe that'll be interesting. Who knows? Who knows if that'll be interesting or not? We'll have to see. But that's where that suit is going. The other, I did a nature short video today because my office was occupado, but it was about, and that's one of the reasons, by the way, Ken, that I did not get back to you, but I will. Yes, I'm going to address that too. So that'll be fun. But I did nature video, but it was about the Capitol rioters and potentially withholding evidence. It's a little educational. That's all. Just a little educational video. I know sometimes you guys don't get notifications from YouTube because they are racist against me, and so I have to point out what's going on from time to time. All right, guys, I have to tell you a story. I have to tell you a story. And the really hard thing about this is I know, and you'll understand why. Okay, there. I know that this person will see this because they're a big fan of the show. Let's see. I don't want that. I need to be very careful with how I do this because I don't want to give away anybody's private info. So give me a second to set up the scene here. All right, am I going to just do this in this very basic way? Okay, I think I've got it here. Let me make it bigger. Oh no, that's not good. Making it bigger is a bad idea. It's a terrible choice. God damn it. I don't want to see the person's name. Can I? I really hate Facebook's interface. Stop. Fucking stop it. Okay, here we go. So this will look a little weird, but this is this. I got a phone call. Oh, I need to do the pre-stream chats first. We'll do the pre-stream chats first, and then I'll tell you this story. Oh my God. No, it was not Ron. Ron hasn't talked to me in a long time. Will you please just work YouTube? Oh my gosh. Open the thing. Some days, guys, I don't know how YouTube operates. I don't know how they can possibly operate because they're not functional most of the time. All right, so what day are we? We're August 11th. All right. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, I have to do this from a spreadsheet. You know how hard this is to read from a fucking spreadsheet? August 11th. Here we go. Okay, this is from the Knowledge. Says, hey, Nick, it's my 28th birthday today, celebrating with Lagavulin and Distillers Edition. Ooh. Cheers to you in the chat. Looking forward to the replay. Thank you. Thank you. Habita Hubita says, my body is so ready for him to be late and gay. Well, that happened. Eldon Bainling says, so I heard you watched a movie yesterday. I didn't show up because you were playing Risk of Rain 2. I feel bamboozled. As recompense, please do movie night tonight. Well, tonight is Wednesday. Tonight is movie night. I did play Risk of Rain 2, you bigot. And I had fun until I was so exhausted. And then we watched, what did we watch? Fatal Attraction, which was a very silly movie. Okay, hold on. Where do I finish? There. Yeah. That's where I finish. Harvey Weinstein says, for hashtag free speech, how much talk diarrhea can I in chat? I mean, as much as you want. And then Shakoval says, late and chair boomer, which is true. Then we have Sam Welter says, the good old days of Landwy and breathalyzer locks on cars. Did you? So, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I maybe need to talk about it. In the new infrastructure bill, they've got pilot programs for like a mileage tax. And I heard they may have a pilot program for requiring interlock ignition devices on all cars. So you got to you got to give your car a blowjob every time you want to start it. No matter if you've ever been a drunk driver in your life. So that's fun. But yeah, so we'll all be Lando now. Mr. Bentham says in Trump voice, the good concrete walls reinforce concrete walls. You've never seen walls like this. Only the best walls for this bunker. Look, we spared no expense. You think that's just steel in there? It's tempered steel. Tempered. That's where they warm it up, make it a little stronger, give it a little bit of oomph, a little bit of character to it. Wonderful walls. Dex Luther. Wait, no. The Blazing Gamer says, how dare you skip out on a stream last night? It's the only thing that gets me through plowing Miss Piggy from the back, riding the waves, all while listening to your soothing voice. That's horrible. Random Blaze says, bet we are going to see a lot of the privileged information filings in the election case, especially from the Dominion side, even though their software is supposed to be auditable. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're gonna move to seal everything in it. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, and I gotta check one more place. I gotta check the Streamlabs. I'm considering dropping Streamlabs entirely because of my hatred of them. Stuck Zula says, whoops, I was doing Kermit voice for no reason. Says, hi, Nick. I work as a full-time conservative activist with a big organization. My entire team loves your videos, and they are what keep us going to promote America first. God bless you, man. Hey, cool. That's great to hear. Thank you. And then, yeah, the rest of these will wait. Okay, there we go. But Streamlabs gives you all the monies to keep. But Streamlabs also banned me. Like, I mean, I know I was just able to make another Streamlabs, under a different entity, which is a workaround, but it's the principle of the idea. They banned me. And that's fucking lame. I didn't even do anything. And they didn't tell me what I did. They just told me I violated a term of service and that, no, they checked it out really carefully, though, so it's not appealable. So, yeah. I don't know. The nature of it pisses me off. All right. So, here we go. So yesterday, here's my story. Here's where my story begins. Yesterday, I went with Lady Rackets, and we drove to the Twin Cities to go pick up some things from a house. Someone we know sold a house, and they had some stuff left in the house that they were going to give to us, and some, well, like something for Drexel, something for us, and then there's a couple other things too. So I rent a U-Haul, and we drive to the cities, and we decided we were going to do these old-timey photos, which is something we've done like every 2 years since we just had one kid. We do this. I don't know why. Lady Rackets decided to start a tradition. She's like, we'll do the old-timey photos. We'll do the Civil War characters or whatever. Okay, whatever. So we did that, but with COVID hitting, we didn't do it on the regular schedule. We normally would have done it last year, but we didn't get to do that last year because the Le Couf. So it's like, okay, well, we got to get in and do that because our last pictures don't have our most recent baby in them. So we go in to go do that. It's like, okay, perfect. We'll get the U-Haul the same day, and then we'll get up. We'll hang out. We'll get the U-Haul. We'll get everything packed up, and we'll go home. And so we get down there, and like I thought everything was in the garage because I wasn't paying attention to the messages that they sent me, and it wasn't in the garage. It was downstairs. So we had to take some things apart and bring them upstairs. Not a big deal. It was just more work than I anticipated, but that was fine. So I'm sitting there moving everything around, and I get a phone call, and my office line, right, that's publicly accessible, that will ring to my cell phone when I want it to. So I get a phone call. It's from Maryland. And I'm like, well, I don't know what this is. I mean, maybe this is important. I have no idea. So I answered the phone. I was also tired of carrying mattresses. So I answered the phone. And this person says, "Hi, is this the Recchia law firm?" Yeah. Oh, good. Yes. I'm calling because the Recchia law firm, well, I sent them some messages to their Facebook business page, and I wanted to let them know that the host of that show, like, I'm on the phone. The host of that show, they interviewed a guy named Michael Long. They interviewed Michael Long, and I don't think it's the host's fault. I felt bad for the host because Michael Long just lied about a bunch of things, and I sent the evidence to the Recchia Law Facebook page, and it was too bad because the host, I like him. I like to watch his content. And I was like, oh, that's great, thank you. And I'm like, yeah, I'll tell the host. And so then they're like, yeah, well, I just wanted to let him know because it kind of looked like he didn't know what was going on, and Michael was just lying about things. And so I think it'd be a good idea for the host to come out and make a statement that Michael Long is a liar. I think that would be a good idea for the host, because it was really unfortunate because I like to watch the host's content all the time. Like, wow, it's really awesome of you. Thank you. I'll tell him to check the Facebook page. So I know you're out there. Look, and it's okay that I know you're a big fan. You watch every show, and that's how you don't know that, like, my law office is literally just me. That's the only person who would answer the phone. It was obviously my voice. I wasn't talking like Kermit or anything else. And then I just don't care if people think someone's lying on my show. Great. Like, that's the whole point. You get to make up your own mind. But so that's it. So they did send me this. Apparently, I don't remember this because it's such an irrelevant thing to me as in the scope of the general discussion. They said something about Michael lied about the T-shirts, which I don't know what that means, but apparently Michael Long had sent, had promoted these T-shirts on an Etsy store, and maybe I don't know if he said something about T-shirts. I don't know. I didn't think T-shirts were the big issue here. But look at this. They sent me a bunch of stuff. All screenshots with basically no context. So we got something about Courtney Chalmers. Family is asking for all donations for Michael's legal fees to be sent through Venmo to Sophie Long's stepmom. Wait. Oh, to Courtney Chalmers. Okay. And this is from someone else. Got it. Randy Duran, whoever that is. And then this person sent $500 and says we stand with Sophie. Okay, cool. I guess. More money being raised for these people. Something long about Courtney Chalmers. And again, it's important. I don't know what happened between Michael and Courtney Chalmers. I don't know. But everybody's like immediately takes Courtney's side on the issues. And maybe her side is right. Again, I don't know anything. But what I do know is you've got someone very angry at someone going through a divorce. It's possible that they might misrepresent things. Possible for that. I don't know. It's been known to happen from time to time that someone who's divorcing someone else may cast them in a negative light with what they do. Also, what I've heard about what Courtney did, and I can't verify this, is allegedly after their breakup, took some money from Michael out of his account. And that it's possible, right, that is people who are bitter at Courtney. Who cares? I don't fucking care. None of this is important to the Sophie case at all. Like, I don't care if he raised $1 billion by selling T-shirts on Etsy and then was like, I don't know about the shirts. Like, that ultimately is irrelevant to me. I guess it would go to his character for truthfulness, maybe, but I don't even remember talking about the shirts. No, toxicity. Courtney is not his current. Well, Courtney is the wife he's divorcing. Kelly is the wife he divorced. So. Yeah, Ralph. No one can find that because it's all sealed up. What if he raised $1 trillion? Well, then it becomes unacceptable. So anyway, this is just, I'm sitting there for like 10 minutes listening to this person stumble through this message. And I'm like, what are they trying to, they want me to disavow? Like, I didn't avow in the first place, so I'm not going to disavow, but don't lie. Don't lie and say you watch the show all the time and like you're a big fan of the content. It's okay if you could just not watch the show and just say, hey, I happen to see this thing. I don't really watch your show or whatever, but here's some stuff that you should look at. All right, cool. Just don't lie. There's no reason to. What a silly thing. But yeah, so that's I get to deal with weird stuff from time to time, and that's one of those. That's one of the weird stuffs that I get to look at. So there's that. So I just wanted to talk about that. Okay, I've got 2 quick stories, and then we'll do the reading of the documents. for this. I might have to dedicate an entire show to the critical K, one with enough advance warning to get a bunch of fat mads in the chat too. Here we go. Okay, I gotta get this the right size. Oh, and here we go. So this is like an Uber Eats driver, like Matt Jarbo or whatever. The delivery driver says he left a note for a customer who didn't tip, reminding them that he doesn't work, quote, for free. All right. This is something I've seen going around. Uber Eats drivers or DoorDash or whatever, trying to tip shame people who don't tip them. Right? And they're like, oh, this person didn't tip. And then it's, you know, they've always got some sad ass story about how they oh man, they drove forever. The order was really complicated, so they had to drive far. What you get your info on the app. Like they tell you, driver, what you're in for. It's like, okay, this is a big order. It's gonna take 30 minutes to drive there. You know, and you hit agree on the amount that you get. So here we go. A DoorDash delivery driver says he left a note for a customer who didn't tip. If you can't afford to tip, then you should go pick it up yourself, he wrote in the note. Hey, eat shit, asshole. If you can't afford to not be tipped, maybe you should get a different job. Yeah, think about that. Try that one. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's get some audio here. We need some help with this story, so. God, it just smells like fucking dust in here. It's amazing. I cut the black lung. Okay, here we go.
I'll take care of the tip. You guys can get the tip. Should be about $1 a piece. And you, when I come back, I want my book.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's my book now.
Hey, I changed my mind. Shoot this piece of shit, will you?
Oh, I gotta get to the right spot. Is this it?
Come on, throw in a buck.
All right, here we go. Yeah. If you can't afford a tip, then you should go pick it up yourself.
I don't tip.
You don't tip?
No, I don't believe in it.
You don't believe in tipping?
You know what these chicks make? They make shit. Don't give me that. She don't make enough money, she can quit.
That's right. You don't get enough money, you can quit. I know you can't see anything. We just have some lines here. Just some lines. That's all you need. He posted a video about his letter on TikTok where it sparked a debate on tipping. DoorDash delivery driver shared his unconventional method for encouraging people to tip. That's not encouraging people to tip. That's just you being a chump. In a recent TikTok video. Oh, yeah, there you go. On Tuesday, Esmond Fountain, who goes by @FrenchFryThug on TikTok. Okay, you know what? Like, we all had dumb usernames, right? Like from the AOL, from the AOL days, when you were like 13, making a cool account, and you're like Leet Thug Murder or whatever, right? Like that. That's it. TikTok's not old enough for you to have a dumb screen name like that. It's not old enough for you to be French Fry Thug. Now, if you were French Fry Thug from like an old IRC chat or something, okay, cool. Yeah, there you go. You can do that. Or if like you're, I don't know, but no, not now, not today. Fountain says in the video, that when he dropped off the customer's order, he left a note that read, "If you can't afford a tip, then you should pick it up yourself. Who do you think you are to order food and have someone come and bring it to your door for free? For free!" It's not free. It's not free. You got to pay for that. You pay for the delivery. You get paid for that delivery.
I don't even know a fucking Jew would have the balls to say that. Now, let me just get this straight. You don't ever tip, huh?
I don't tip because society says I have to. All right, I mean, I'll tip if somebody really deserves a tip. If they really put forth the effort, I'll give them something extra. But I mean, this tipping automatically, it's for the birds.
It's for the birds. Tipping automatically is for the birds. Do your fucking job. What are we talking about here? He told Insider he had worked for the food delivery app since December, said in an email that the customer addressed in his video was a habitual no-tipper, and then he posted the video to make a statement. This behavior is clearly inappropriate and has no place on the DoorDash platform. We're looking into this incident and will take appropriate action. Someone's going to get fired. What an idiot.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they're just doing their job.
Hey, this girl was nice.
She was okay. I mean, she wasn't anything special.
What's special? Take you in the back and suck your dick?
I'd go over 12% for that.
Hey, look, I ordered coffee, right? Now, we've been here a long fucking time. She's only filled my cup 3 times.
Just 3 times. Just 3 times. Anyway, I'm not going to play the whole Reservoir Dogs clip, but I thought of it immediately when I got this story. I'm like, what the hell? This motherfucker's out here complaining that he's not getting tipped. I mean, sure, if everything you do is not getting tipped, get a different job because you're not good at it. You're not good at it. I don't know. Did you put his food in a warm bag? Did you keep it warmer? Did you give him a cold water with it? What did you do to go above and beyond the delivery? Why do you earn a tip? It technically wasn't free. DoorDash paid you. I never tip. I pay the service fees to DoorDash or Uber Eats. That's enough. You don't make enough money and get a new job. Let's see. I didn't realize this many people support not tipping drivers. Good. Good. And then there was this one. Here's why. In June, Smithson Michael posted a video of himself crying after he said he received a $1.19 tip on a food order that took an hour to deliver. Hey, maybe it's because it took you an hour to deliver it. Do you ever think about that? Let's see what this says.
You know, I wish people knew what it was like to deliver for
My man is crying.
Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash, all these companies. I just spent an hour driving around for a $1.19 tip. I mean, would it hurt y'all to tip us, throw us $5?
Yes.
I got a $1.19 tip and $2 from the app. What's that?
$3.
That's not even enough to cover gas.
If you could add $1.19 plus $2, then you'd know what it was. It's $3.19.
How am I supposed to survive like that? Homeless. I'm there. This that I'm sitting in, it's gone. 4 months behind. There's no way I could pay for that.
You got 4 walls
Everything
and
fell
a roof
apart
right
on me.
there.
I haven't been able to sustain myself, provide for myself. And these are essential services.
No.
I just wish people knew what it was like. I wish they understood what it was like to drive for these services.
Food delivery is not an essential service. Turn off your fucking blinker, too. What is he doing here? Sitting here crying. Oh, my God. I hope that people see the other side of things. He said, see what it looks like to drive 10 miles and wait in an understaffed restaurant to deliver an order for $2 and no tip. Man, maybe you should quit, and then DoorDash can't do the job, and then they'll have to raise their rates. These fucking people. And then this is the last thing, and then we'll do Greer stuff, but in a complete opposite story, what the hell? Oh my God. fucking Newsweek. This is the opposite story. Diners rush to tip 7-month pregnant waitress after group runs from $100 bill. I only have one thing to comment on in this one. It's down here. Oh my, the fuck, what? Jesus. Okay. So this chick is a waitress at a restaurant. She's 7 months pregnant, which is irrelevant to the fact that she's a waitress. And she has a party of 5. 5 people got up and left without paying after ordering about $100 worth of food and drink. Now, we don't know if they ordered it and got it and left. Like, did they eat and leave? Or did they just order and leave because maybe the service is bad? Don't know. That's kind of vaguely worded, so I'm not really sure what happened. But this is the important part. You got $100 worth of food and drink. For 5 people, that's nothing. Like, that is where, I don't know what restaurant this is. That's cheap. That's cheap. I have ad block on, but it's in incognito mode. It doesn't have it on there. So, yeah. Before I knew it, they were gone. They skipped out on the tab, and I was in absolute shock. I've been in this business for so long, and that's the first time that has ever happened to me. Really? Like, I figured dining and dashing was something that was something people did all the time. But, so then, here we go. So then, of course, some simp runs to social media. Let's make these douches famous after they ran out on a check at the Galway restaurant wrote. Oh, the restaurant simps. Worst part was the server was a very pregnant woman. That is unforgivable. Stealing is fine normally, but not when there's a pregnant woman involved. Anyone who knows them, let me know. I'll send you a $100 gift card. Number of local residents did stuff. So here's my favorite one. Ron Richo, very Richo, suggested, let's start a fund to tip the server what she would have gotten. Count me in on this. Bro, she would have gotten $20. It's $20. That's it. That's what she lost out on. It's a Jackson. Let's get a fund going. We can do this, guys. Put me down. Put me down. Oh my God. I can't figure that. Let's get a fund going. We got to cover that tip. 20 bones. Whoo. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I saw that, and in the context of the other case, or the other news story, I just had to giggle at it. Because like, you could just mail her $20, send it to the restaurant and say, for her, here's a tip, $20. Sorry that the people who walked out were assholes. Oh my gosh. Pastor Flash says here, tip the prego lady. Okay. All right. It's time. It's time for Russell Greer. Thank you for being patient with me. I wanted to make sure we got to the the peak amount of viewers who would be filtered in for the briefing. And I had those couple things to talk about beforehand. So this was filed on August 7th, just a couple days ago. And I don't know where the lips are. Let me see one thing. I think I just found where they are, and they're behind. Everything's moved in my office. I don't know if I can get to them. 1 second. I don't think I can get back here. Well, this could be a disaster. Think skinny. I will not be on law Twitter. I will not be on law Twitter. Oh, there they are. This was unforeseen. All right, mission accomplished. We have the lips. Oh, God.
He drank a fair bit and then realized that his bladder can't handle the liquor inside, leaving us with his chair while he runs up the stairs, hoping the stream doesn't suddenly die. While we are waiting, we'll be laughing at you. The drinking along is what most of us do. The chat is united and getting excited for what you have for us when your PN is through. When you have a small bladder and no sphincter control, freedom of liquor doesn't mean freedom from soaking your drawers. Now you're washing your hands and you realize that you've forgotten to scrub both the front and the back. Then you'll grab a quick bite, kiss your lady goodnight, and remember to thank her for all of the snacks. Whoa, water will cure your hangover. Oh, drink some when the stream is over. When you have small bladder and no sphincter control, freedom of liquor doesn't mean freedom from soaking your drawers. Soaking your drawers.
All right, there we go. I had to go wash these things because they're super dusty. So we have the lips. We have the lips. And yeah. So here we go. Here we go. This is Russell Greer. I don't know how much lips we're gonna do. Cause hello. My name is Russell Greer, and Joshua Loon and the Kiwi Farms, they ruined my life. Then Taylor Swift, who I love and definitely want to date. They're ruining my life and they should be stopped. All right, so there we go. There we go. If you are not familiar with Russell Greer, what is happening? Oh, there we go. My monitor got turned. Do we need to do a preview on who Russell Greer is? Just a primer? Yep. Real quick. Where do we have it? Trying to find the right Russell Greer video share with you. I can't find the one that I normally watch. It's probably somewhere on Kiwi Farms, but this one might do. I don't know. I haven't watched this one. Okay, this is Russell Greer dancing. There he is. Is this just him dancing over and over? This isn't useful to me. Oh my God. Okay, well, we'll do it this way. I'll just talk about him. Cuz that's not working. So Russell Greer is an individual with something called Mobius syndrome. That means that Russell's lips and face are paralyzed. So Russell always looks the same. Maybe I'll just pull up a picture of his face. Yeah, this will be perfect. This will help you get here we go. Yes. Now you will see. This is Russ. Okay? So his eyes and his lips don't move. All right? Ever. They're paralyzed by his brain or something. Now this may I'll warn you, because it happens to everybody. If you're new to this may give you pause about Russell. You may be like, oh my God, this guy's got like a disability, and it's kind of, you don't want to dump on the poor guy. Yeah. Okay. That's your initial reaction. I get it. Everybody goes through this. It's like the phases of grief. We're not making fun of Russell's disability. Not making fun of Russell's disability. Russell Greer is an objectively terrible person. That's where this goes at the end of the day. Russell Greer is objectively a bad guy. And that is what we're hitting on Russell Greer, okay? It's that he is a complete ass bag to everybody. So what launched Russell Greer into sort of popularity, I guess, was his many lawsuits against Taylor Swift, along with other singers, strippers, Bunny Ranch performers, and the Bunny Ranch itself. He sues a lot of women. And at the end of the day, he is literally suing these women because they don't want to date him. Many of them don't even know who he is, like Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, Katy Perry, all of whom he's gone after. They don't know who Russell is. But what he does is he sends them some gift, right? Like a hairball or whatever that he's collected from them. And he sends it back to them in the shape of a heart that says Russ and Katie forever or something. And then they ignore him. And so then he sues them because celebrities should not be allowed to ignore your gift that you send them. They're required. He's literally arguing that celebrities should be required by law to acknowledge the gift that you sent them. And that's just one of the many faces of Russell Greer. Well, it's really just one face. It's paralyzed. So that's there. So as we go through and talk about and make fun of Russ, understand that God didn't do this to Russell Greer. Russell Greer did this to Russell Greer. So, okay. Pursuant to the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 15D, plaintiff respectfully moves this court for an entry of an order granting plaintiff the right to file a supplemental brief, a copy of which is attached here too, and for its reasons relies upon the following. So Russell Greer is suing Kiwi Farms. Well, particularly Joshua Moon and Kiwi Farms, both of them. He's suing them both, and the last thing to happen in this case is in May, and now he's filing for a supplemental brief that we have to look into. In May of this year, plaintiff and defendants... Oh, I have this pulled up in front of me. In May of this year, plaintiff and defendants both filed motions and answers to motions. Since that time, the present case has been dormant. But since that time, new incidents have occurred that should be brought to the court's attention, namely another suicide caused by the users of Kiwi Farms. Yes, that's right. There has been another murder, death, kill by the denizens of Kiwi Farms. Also, defendant's counsel never disclosed to the court their relationship with plaintiff and how it wasn't pure happenstance that defendant Moon reached out to the Skordas firm, but rather defendant knew to retain his present counsel based on his site's history of stalking plaintiff. Plaintiff filed an ethics complaint with the Utah State Bar in July. There's a 6 here. I don't know if you noticed this. This 6 is on every page. In the Utah State Bar in July, and this court should be aware of the sordid history between plaintiff and the law firm that is representing the defendant, a representation that is seemingly occurring for no other reason than to harass the plaintiff. Plaintiff respectfully requests that the court enter an order granting plaintiff the right to file the attached supplemental brief. Okay, so there is a good reason to hire Greg Skordas against Russell Greer. Skordas has routinely demolished Russell Greer in court over and over. Just keeps beating Russell Greer because Greer keeps suing people and they're like, oh, this lawyer's dealt with this guy before. So they hire the lawyer to take care of Greer. And he keeps winning and Greer keeps losing. That's what Greer is mad about. That's what he is saying is harassment. The harassment is that they hire the effective lawyer against him for the suits that Russell is bringing. So Russ is bringing the suits. That's not harassment, though. It's Skordas representing in defense that is harassment. And that's a preview of what you're in for with this filing. Undead says 10 out of 10 Chair Coon stream. Every Chair Coon stream's a 10 out of 10. Now, I have heard that during Skordas' representation of one of the defendants against Russell, that Russell made an unprofessional remark about Skordas' daughter. So that may have something to do with it. That may have something to do with the fact that Skordas is happy to defend against Russ, because and you know it's like a pass at her or something, because Russell, his disability is not in his face. His disability is in thinking that he can just sweep in to every woman and enter into her nethers automatically. Tina says the many faces of Russell. What is he like? A quintesson, but it's all the same face. Guilty. Feed him to the Shaktakans. As explained in plaintiff's previously filed pleadings. So this is his proposed brief that he wants to file. So let's see what he's after here. As explained in plaintiff's previously filed pleadings, he has suffered systemic harassment at the hands of Kiwi Farms, which is actually not true. What he means is Kiwi Farms users, which are distinctly different. Kiwi Farms is not owned by the users. So this doesn't really work out. Plaintiff has demonstrated that even defendant Moon has participated in the harassment by taunting plaintiff through email about fair use and refusing to remove Greer's intellectual property. I guess sue him over the copyright. This pattern of harassment has caused many people to end their lives and has resulted in another death of a person named Dave, who went by the online alias of Near and Bew. So here we go back. This is a tie-in to the emulator king, Near Bew, who went ahead and Epstein himself in Minecraft or whatever, and then blamed Kiwi Farms allegedly. Dave's death happened in June of 2021. Greer feels this information is important for this court because it throws a wrench in defendants' arguments that their website benefits the public. Well, I mean, look, in theory, it is actually possible for a suicide to have public benefit, right? Like, this isn't controversial. I'm not advocating suicide or anything, but, you know, some of them that happen, you're like, I mean, at least it wasn't a nun or something. It was actually just like a chomo or so, right? Some people off themselves and society goes, not so bad. Not such a bad thing. So it's not automatically bad that this happened. But the website only benefits the anonymous users who make it a sport to target those who are perceived to be different. Here's undermining his argument constantly in these filings. The anonymous users are the ones doing this. Here's the 6 again. Very important 6. Greer also wishes to disclose to this court the undisclosed relationship between defendant's counsel and plaintiff. He left off that it's irrelevant. It's an irrelevant relationship. Shockingly, if you've represented people against someone else in the past, you can do it again in the future. And it might be a great thing. Such a disclosure is important because it is really the only reason a civil attorney would stand by an infamous site that is causing people to kill themselves. It's literally not the only reason. There are, just in that statement, there are multiple reasons why someone would do it, why an attorney would take up the Kiwi Farms. Oh my God. The June 2021. Again, this is Russell Greer. I also need to let you know for the chat who's new to this person. Russell is a paralegal. He has completed paralegal training. He is a licensed, I guess, paralegal, and should know that this is part of what lawyers do. You defend the undefendable. That's somebody has to, right? Oftentimes that guy's name is Mark Randazza. He's a guy who has defended the indefendable several times on speech that many people would find appalling, but it is still speech. So he defends them. And no different for Skordas or any other attorney who deals with speech. The June 2021 suicide. Many outlets reported in late June 2021 that a programmer named David Kirk Grinder, who went by the online name of Near and Bew, ended their own life. I didn't know they ever found the name of this person. David preferred to be referred to as they, and so plaintiff is referring to David as his proper pronoun. Okay, that was a good line by Russell right there. This That was, mwah. I gotta give hats off to Russ there because that is based and red pilled. Out of his, he does they and their earlier, and then he's like, plaintiff is referring to him by his proper pronoun. Rip. David's last online posts attributed their anguish to Kiwi Farms, writing, "It's escalated from attacking me for being autistic to attacking and doxing my friends and trying to suicide bait another just to get a reaction from me," Grindr wrote. The internet is not a game. It's real life. I'm a real person. This stuff really hurts. I don't know if this is actually happening from Kiwi Farms users. That's the other thing. Because Near's page at the time of his death was like 14 pages. It was almost, which is not many. There's like 10 posts to a page or something. That's not actually very many. For reference, my post, and I have a small thread on Kiwi Farms, is 309 pages. So, you know, I don't know about this 14-page thing. The internet is not a game. This stuff really hurts. Respected developer who is bullied online dies by suicide. Moon tried downplaying his site's involvement in Grindr's death, even though Grindr specifically called out Kiwi Farms. USA Today found a number of posts on Kiwi Farms attacking Grindr and calling them derogatory slurs. After news of their suicide, one user posted, "This loser better have an after party where his family dances over his corpse." Oh my God. Jeez. Importantly though, Russ, after news of their suicide, that's irrelevant to the suicide itself. From the article, one of Grindr's friends said, "I'm very, very angry, furious with Kiwi Farms," Beckett told USA Today. "I just want them to appreciate the gravity of what they've done." Why would you want them to appreciate it? They certainly contributed to Grindr's death. They were quite precious to us. How do you replace the irreplaceable? My precious? Deny as defendant might. Why is it that the pattern is the same? Unfortunate person gets put on Kiwi Farms, gets relentlessly harassed, and then kills themselves because it's too much to bear. It's all documented on news sites that link Kiwi Farms to the harassment. Plaintiff has certainly felt the same low. Those close to Greer have concluded that Moon must be mentally ill and that his users are miserable people, because no normal person would continue to run a site that has a reputation of driving people to suicide. I mean, I guess Jack Dorsey isn't normal, and neither is Zuckerberg. So he's right. He's right, even though those Facebook and Twitter are probably responsible for more teenager and adolescent suicides than any other platforms on the planet. Oh, it's Grindr? I keep reading Grindr because I imagine that he had a Grindr account. Again, those close to Greer, though, I mean, those are just women he's caught up with. In the same article, Moon claims the users on this website are ordinary people who want to watch the trash TV of the internet. With limited exception, there is no desire to see people harmed. This statement reeks of hypocrisy and inaccuracy. Again, normal people don't stalk and torment others for fun. Is Greer saying that Greer is not normal? Because several women have accused Russell Greer of stalking them. Both cyber stalking them and in-person stalking them. So I mean, that's what this lawsuit is literally about, is his quote-unquote victims who got a restraining order against... One of the victims got a restraining order against him for stalking and tormenting them. I mean, That's what actually happened. And Russell's argument to that is, but that's just one victim though, and they said victims plural. That's his actual argument. Again, the judge gets this and is just like, oh, come on. Or more appropriately, the clerk. The clerk is like, oh, come on. Greer has demonstrated how Moon's users have openly called to harm him by stealing his intellectual property and harassing those close to him. There was a time when Greer's family were screening their calls because the Kiwi Farms users would harass anyone close to Greer. How does this happen? Like, I don't get it. This is a stupid thing to say, but so I was talking to the air conditioning guy today. Very nice guy. We had a great conversation. And he found out that I did YouTube as a job. I don't know if I mentioned it to one of them. I didn't think I had mentioned it to him specifically. But I think I'd mentioned it to one of the other guys on the crew. And so they were talking about it a little bit. And he's like, yeah, these other guys, they don't really understand how you make money. So we were talking about YouTube and how it works and stuff like that. But he was like, I mentioned, yeah, I mean, it's a little weird because you have to be careful with, how you record and what you share online because there could be weirdos out there. And he's like, oh yeah, definitely. He's like, I bet you get a bunch of stuff. And I was like, actually, surprisingly, I don't. I don't get a bunch of stuff. Like that phone call I got today was the anomaly. That was a weird thing to get a phone call like that. And it was funny because the person lied. But other than that, it wasn't like particularly malicious. And despite my number being my office number being publicly available, people really don't hassle or harass me. So it's a weird it's a weird thing that, like, for Russell, has apparently people are harassing him and his family all the time. Okay, so anyway, also Mr. Moon is quite the trashy history himself. From saying he wishes Muslims were exterminated to saying he wanted to wear the fingers of Jews as a necklace to making rape threats against people. Moon, just cut your own fingers off. The internet's Janny is sitting here trying to borrow fingers for his necklace. This is from The Net is Closing In and YouTube Had Better Take Notice, from a WordPress blog back in 2019. Although blogs are subjective writings that shouldn't normally be considered, in this case, they're relevant because they are the writings of a person who has been affected by Kiwi Farms. Maybe Moon has changed his views and Greer isn't trying to be argumentative. Literally is trying to be argumentative. Also, you're typing a professional document, you asshole. Don't use a contraction. Should not shouldn't. Is not isn't. What are you doing? I know they taught you this in paralegal school. But the point is, Moon and his users have quite the history of being trashy, that they have no right to be harassing others for perceived trashiness. Look, if they were upstanding moral citizens, they could trash people for being trash. But no, they're trash too. This also brings to light the second point of information Greer wanted to share with the court. The relationship between the Skordas firm and Greer. Did you notice what just happened there? That was an asshole move. He's talking about trash people. This brings to light the second point, Skordas. So, this is a nice little rhetorical trick that Greer used to call Skordas trash. Again, something you shouldn't do. Like, I don't know if the judge is going to ultimately care about that, but bad-mouthing opposing counsel like this, it doesn't actually play well with judges or with clerks. They don't like that. Okay, here we go. Past history with the Skordas firm. It is no coincidence that Moon retained the Skordas firm to represent him. Since Kiwi Farm stalks Greer, they have gathered everything about plaintiff, and thus they would know that Mr. Greg Skordas and Mr. Greer have had past entanglements. Hopefully not on Grindr. These entanglements start back to 2016, when Greer sued Swift for his ill-fated publicity stunt, which was predicated on the large legal concept of vicarious liability. Swift's agents were negligent in passing on a gift and so trying to get publicity. He sued her to get her attention, and it backfired on him and attracted Kiwi Farms. So he's telling the court, by the way, that he's a vexatious litigant who is using the court improperly. Like, that's what he just did. So, Your Honor, what you gotta understand is Taylor Swift wouldn't sleep with me, and so what I did was I tried to sue her to make her have sex with me through the courts legally, because, you know, that's the way to a woman's heart is through a lawsuit. I read that somewhere. And so it was a fake lawsuit. Everybody knew it was fake. It was clearly fake. And what is her date, though? Then did that backfire on me? I'm gonna drink some whiskey. That was delicious. Oh, that was horrible. I just dropped whiskey and spit everywhere. Oh. Okay. Sorry, back to this. Swift's team retained Greg Skordas. Greer was being a shock jock back then, a la Howard Stern. Wait a minute. All right. As someone who has been accused of being a shock jock on several occasions, I have been accused in legal documents of being a shock jock. I am particularly suited to discuss this because I feel like I can feel it in my memories that I am a shock jock. Okay, now it's official for this purpose, especially. Greer was not broadcasting that I know of. Like what shock jockery is he doing? A la Howard Stern. So Greer's got a radio show to like 12 million people. Got it. Okay. There we go. And so he teasingly made jokes about Skordas on his social media that Skordas apparently took very personally. Don't do it. Don't piss off your opposing counsel. What are you doing? Woo. So, yeah, just don't piss off opposing counsel. And then, so Greer, again, he's telling the court exactly what they need to know to say, okay, this is stupid. There's nothing to do here. You pissed him off, so he takes up cases against you so he can get the satisfaction of beating the brakes off you in court. Okay. I guess. The following year, Greer went to a concert in Salt Lake City and was manhandled and discriminated by the security of Ariana Grande. Ah! They didn't. They didn't even use the facial recognition software. They just picking out a crowd from disability. It was discrimination. So, if you don't know, Russ was having his was it like a Faustian tryst, but with Ariana Grande, and but only in his mind though. That was going on, and security's like, not you, Mr. Elliot Roderick, get the fuck out. And they, okay. Greer also met Ariana at a before-show meet and greet, and she was very discriminating against Greer, was very unkind to him because of his facial disability and appearance. Okay. I've got to do something here, chat. This is important for science. This will be... I have a short video clip to play for you when I get to it, okay? We're going to do a compare and contrast. I don't know if we'll even play the video because it'll get copy claimed if we do. All right. We're going to do an A/B comparison, okay? Very important to do these from time to time to make sure what you're on. This is Exhibit A, Russell Greer. All right? Now, this is the discriminatory Ariana Grande. Okay? So this is, I've got it muted. She's discriminating against him because she saw him and went, oh ew. Oh ew. It's important to remember where Exhibit A is going for, right? Like he's shooting for the stars on this one. Yeah, okay. All right. It's just we need a little perspective here. She is a bitch. Oh, I'm sure. 100%. 100%. Like okay. So Ariana's an attractive woman. She's also wealthy and very popular. That is, as far as women go, that is peak bitchinitude. Like, that's as far as high up as the bitch mountain as you can go. Because she has literally every excuse. She doesn't need you ever. That's it. So you walk in with your lips pulled back over your fucking scalp, and she's just gonna go, yeah, get out. Get out. So here we go. But because Greer was still facing, don't ever use that word, heat for the Swift incident, Greer lied and said that the concert was fun when deep down he was deeply hurt and had written Grande's manager for an apology. He Karen'd on Ariana Grande. He wrote to her manager thinking that her manager was literally her manager. Like her boss. It's telling a platinum recording artist, I'm gonna call your manager, is usually a business proposition. This is not what's happening. You need to reprimand her. Oh my God. But he didn't want to cause drama. He didn't want to cause drama, but he wrote her manager. What he did was he lied about it on Facebook. This is what he's saying. Like he posted on Facebook that the concert was fun because he didn't want to cause drama. But what he did was get deeply hurt and then write her manager for an apology because he didn't want to cause drama. That's all he wanted was an apology. Look, all I wanted was an apology. Just like with Taylor Swift, all he wanted was acknowledgement of his cool song. All he wanted from the stripper was for her to say that she enjoyed giving him a lap dance or whatever. That's all he's ever wanted. All he wanted from the Bunny Ranch chick was to take her to Olive Garden before he put her through like the most traumatic sexual experience of her entire life. That's all he wanted, though. He just wanted her to pretend to be his girlfriend. And this is a common theme with Russ. So again, if you're not familiar, he sued the Bunny Ranch, which is the legalized cat house in Las Vegas or outside of Las Vegas. And he sued them because he paid for 4 hours with a girl, Kiara or something. I don't remember her name. He paid for 4 hours with a girl. And then, but before they got down to bumping his uglies on her uglies, he wanted to make it a true experience though. So he took her to he got an Olive Garden. He got a limo and took her to Olive Garden. I'm not making this up. We talked actually to Russell Greer's boss on the show. He wore a tuxedo to the Walmart where he was the janitor because he wouldn't have time to change into his tuxedo after janitoring in Salt Lake City to then get on a bus down to Las Vegas to the Bunny Ranch. So he wore a tuxedo to work at Walmart as a janitor and then left work and got on a bus for like 8 hours in the tuxedo and then showed up at the Bunny Ranch at like 9 a.m. in a tuxedo for his prepaid hooker. And then he took her to Olive Garden, presumably in the same stinky tuxedo. God, that had to smell terrible. I feel like showering in acetone after walking into Walmart, much less cleaning one. And so he does this. And he takes her to the Olive Garden and they eat. And then they go back to the Bunny Ranch and he's like, all right, time to get down and diggity. And she's like, by the way, your 4 hours are up. Your 4 hours are up. Thank you for the couple $1,000. Now please leave. Your time has expired. And he never got to consummate his wife for 4 hours. That's why he sued the Bunny Ranch. This is a weird dude. Okay. Again, it's important to remember the depths of Russell's depravity when we're talking about Russell. How does this idiot afford to sue all these people on a janitorial salary? He represents himself. So all he has to do is save up like $400 for the filing fee. Okay, back to this. The manager. That's all he wanted was an apology. The manager, Stephanie Simon, referred Greer to Scooter Braun. Oh shit, isn't Scooter Braun? Scooter's the guy who bought Taylor Swift's entire discography or whatever. And pissed her off. Grande's then new manager, whom she has subsequently fired. Greer unsuccessfully got through to Scooter, and so Greer researched and found a Utah law. Wait, what? Wait a minute. Greer unsuccessfully got through to Scooter. Okay. Scooter, he's going to be a real winner. Well, he bought Taylor Swift's discography for like $350 million. Scooter makes a shitload of money. So this is a weird sentence. And so Greer researched and found a Utah law that makes it illegal to deny a disabled person's rights in a place of entertainment. Greer filed a small claim suit against Grande based on a violation of that law. Skordas had the audacity at the small claims trial to openly call Greer not disabled. Look at... Not disabled? Look at me! Look at my face! How dare you! Look at me! Look at it! Oh my God. Have you guys seen Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise? Right? And he gets in that like car accident or whatever. I don't even remember. Something happens to his face. And he's like, look at my face. That's every time I think of Russell Greer. That's what I picture in my head is Tom Cruise screaming to look at his face. Let's check out the statute real quick. I can't with Russ. I can't. I am not an animal. I am a human being. Okay, rights and privileges of an individual with a disability. An individual with a disability has the same rights and privileges in the use of highways, streets, sidewalks, walkways. Equal rights to accommodations, advantages, and facilities offered by common carriers, air carriers, railroad carriers, motor buses, motor vehicles, water carriers, public conveyance. Equal rights to accommodations, advantages, and facilities offered by hotels, motel lodges, and all other places of public accommodation. Equal access to private and public and private housing accommodations. Okay, so he's just going with the places of amusement or resort, I guess. But public accommodation. Okay, yeah, you can't kick people out of a concert for being disabled. You can, however, kick them out for being an asshole. Okay, back to this. Skordas, where in fact, federal law defines a disability as one or more ailments that limits an essential activity. Being born with a facial disability and having people understand every other word that is spoken in a slurred accent is most definitely a disability. I actually don't think so. I don't think that is a disability. I think the ailments that limit an essential activity would be Greer's eyes not moving. Like people with Mobius syndrome, their eyes can't move side to side. So that limits their ability to drive as easily or whatever. And his mouth not closing, right? makes it harder for him to eat and drink, which are definitely essential activities. They limit an essential activity. So those are much better. This is weird. Moon's users have so callously lobbed discriminatory names against Greer for his disability. I wish I had a list. I wish I had a list. Greer was fuming when Skordas berated him openly like that. Skordas was awarded attorney fees and waited a year to even collect by sending an officer to Greer's house with court documents. Oh, you got just destroyed. Oh man. No activity really transpired between Greer and Skordas until 2020, when Skordas represented the mentally ill girl in the very unfair misdemeanor case against Greer. His restraining order case, Skordas is the attorney there, by the way. So here he's going to bring up again that he has a stalking and harassment restraining order against him. And that the guy who got it is sitting in the courtroom. Okay. The same case that is the subject of the false light claims. The problem, Russ, is that they're not a false light. They're a true light. Once again, Mr. Skordas in that case fought very ferociously against Greer. It's literally his job to do that. Schindler's Lips. Okay, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. Even though no threats or serious harassment was made against the alleged victim, it could be argued that Moon and his users have harassed Greer more than Greer ever harassed the girl. Yet Greer is somehow the convicted one. Again, I am my own worst enemy. They pick on me all the time, but I'm the one who gets convicted of being a harasser. Skordas went straight for the jugular and got the prosecutor to file charges against Greer, instead of first trying to get a restraining order or simply contacting Greer to ask him to stop, which Greer would have gladly complied, and which he wasn't really even contacting the alleged victim that much. She's not alleged. You were convicted of the crime. It's no longer alleged. You just were. She just is the victim. You just were the perp. You... Oh... Greer was frankly surprised he was charged because he didn't think he committed a crime, and he still maintains his innocence. But that conviction, though, he was only convicted because of his advocating for sex work. He has the email from the prosecutor to prove it. Well, I mean... only the advocacy for the sex work and the literal harassment. I mean, that probably factors into it too. Okay. Not for any actual harassment. So in reality, Greer was convicted for having unpopular views, which is unconstitutional, and Greer tried appealing, but him and his criminal attorney got in a verbal altercation about the ramifications of appeal. No, I'm not going to appeal that you like hookers and therefore you didn't harass some mentally ill girl, a product of your own description. No, Russ. No, we can't. No, you can't win based on that. No, I don't even want to try. Greer goes to such lengths to explain this entire history to show that there's a very long and complicated history between defendant's counsel and him. That's fine. Defendant's counsel can have any motivation they want in making the defense. And to offer the evidence that this current representation is being made for nothing more than to harass and intimidate Greer. You can't harass and intimidate someone who brings the action. Why else would a law firm represent a person who runs a website that is tied to many suicides and harassment? Civil law is not criminal law, and thus there is no utmost constitutional duty to represent defendant. I mean, there is and there isn't. The Skordas firm can withdraw at any time. Well, I mean, they'd have to ask the court to. Embarrassed to be tied to such a website. They would lose their credibility. Withdrawing from a case because you think that your client is bad might actually be a violation of your ethical responsibilities. There's a movie about that, by the way. It was The Devil's Advocate. Now, granted, that was in criminal law, but withdrawing from the case because you're embarrassed by your client's existence during the pendency of the case, you're risking an ethics violation and malpractice by doing so. Like, if you tell the court that, like, you're prejudicing your own client. But they refuse and instead downplay the suicides and the harm of Kiwi Farms. It seems ironic for the firm to accuse Greer in his criminal case to be a horrible person for very minor actions, but downplay worse actions by defendants. Per Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 11B, an attorney certifies that the representation is not being used to harass. Yeah, that typically speaking, you're talking about a plaintiff. Here, whoops. Here we go. Representations to the court. By presenting to a court a pleading, written motion, or other paper, whether by signing, filing, submitting, or later advocating it, an attorney or unrepresented party certifies that, to the best of the person's knowledge, information, and belief, formed after an inquiry reasonable under the circumstances, is not being presented for any improper purpose, such as to harass, cause unnecessary delay, or needlessly increase the cost of litigation. Everything Skordas has done has been to end the litigation as cheap as possible, dismiss it outright as frivolous. Claims, defenses, and other legal contentions are warranted by existing law. Non-frivolous argument for extending, modify. Russ, you probably don't want to do this. You're literally doing this to harass Joshua Moon. Just like you filed several lawsuits to harass Taylor Swift, you filed lawsuits to harass Ariana Grande and other people. But one other problem here is that Russ, is this in, oh no, this is in federal court. Never mind. Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 11B, yeah, not to harass. That's what's exactly happening here. The Skordas firm has gleefully taken on anybody who approaches them for help in any situation regarding Russell Greer, the plaintiff. How is that not improper harassing? Because they're not bringing suit against you. They're responding to suits against you. This is amazing. Amazingly stupid. If it's not harassing, then does Skordas firm take on any person who approaches their firm? No, just any person who's being sued by you. Surely they don't. I mean, I think if they pay the retainer and it's within their practice area, they're probably going to take on pretty much anybody who's not conflicted out. Do they have intake criteria? Yeah. Yeah, probably. There's probably an intake form. Do they have an annual quota of clients? What do you even mean? I mean, maybe. If it's not harassing, does the firm ever reject anybody? Sure. Have they ever rejected anybody who approached them about plaintiff? They can't tell you. That's the crazy thing, is they wouldn't really be able to say, well, not with specificity. They could just say yes or no, I guess, if they wanted to, but they have no obligation. And most importantly, did the firm bother to do any research on defendants? This representation is a slap in the face to Greer, which he wouldn't feel because his face is fucking paralyzed. And a slap in the face to every victim of Kiwi Farms, both dead and alive. And it only furthers that this representation is being used for an improper purpose to harass Greer, because Mr. Skordas has some vendetta against Greer that began 6 years ago, because there's no other reason any law firm would represent Kiwi Farms in a civil case where they aren't constitutionally obligated to. I mean, that's a leap. This is a fucking leap. Those close to Greer believe Mr. Skordas is only representing Moon out of spite towards Greer, and this is clearly a violation of Rule 11B. Again, those close to Greer are irrelevant. Greer isn't asking this court for sanctions. Rather, he is only pointing out a history of litigation history between himself and Skordas to help show that contempt and harassment seems to be the only driving motivation factors in representing a site like Moon's. Greer leaves it up to the court whether the court wishes to issue sanctions against the Skordas firm. For what? This is a frivolous filing. This is a frivolous filing. It's completely pointless. Plaintiff urges the court to ponder this new... Wait, I'll read the conclusion as Russ. I do this for you. Plaintiff urges the court to ponder this new information because it helps show that people are suffering for defendants' entertainment. It is plaintiff's hope that this court entertains defendants with an injunction. It is requested that the sought-for monetary amount is awarded to plaintiff and that defendant is entertained paying Greer for damages. It is hoped that maybe when Moon actually faces legal consequences within this case, that when he starts feeling the same stress and despair that his victims have faced, that maybe a light will turn on in his head. Judgments are meant to deter the behavior Kiwi Farms and Moons have exhibited. It is hoped that the judgment is awarded Greer. Respectfully submitted, August 5th, 2021, Russell Greer. Wow. We have some exhibits. Joshua Null Moon. Good Muslims need a good genocide, he says, on 13th of November, 2015. Damn. Oh, man, free speech is tough. Joshua Moon replying to Paul Town and Ethan Ralph says, cut off Jew fingers. And then he says to Joe Bernstein, says, sir, I don't mean to be a bother, but would you happen to have any extra fingers left for my necklace? Toes, maybe. He's responding to this guy, though, who says, Twitter, definitely the best social network for getting threatened to have your fingers cut off to add to the necklace of Jewish fingers. So he's making a joke. So Exhibit B, the internet is not a game. Do you want to play a game? Okay. Due to toxic cyberbullying from Kiwi Farms. That's it. He circled Kiwi Farms. Okay. So someone said it, so it must be true, of course. All right. Well, there you go, guys. That is Russell Greer's filing. That is Russ Greer's filing. Did you guys catch what he's asking for there? In that document? The well written and well constructed legal document. Did you catch what he was asking for from the court? You probably didn't, because it wasn't. He wants to file that supplemental brief that doesn't actually do or say anything. It doesn't relate to the cause of action. It doesn't relate to the current motion. He said he wants the court to basically issue an injunction and a damages award against Moon, but yeah. Now, the court may actually allow him to supplement his brief, because this technically happened after the last filing in the case. Although it did happen, 2 months ago. And he didn't supplement it at the time. He waited till now. So whether or not that matters, I don't know. The court may allow him to supplement the brief just because it'll eliminate an appeal point. But Greer's 99% going to lose this case. It would take something crazy for Greer to prevail here, because he's insane and he undermines his own case all the time. He doesn't really have a case in the first place for what he's claiming, and these are big problems for him. So he's also got a history with the court, and Skordas is more than happy to show that he has a history of doing this with the court. But at the end of the day, it's very likely that Russell's going to lose this. Again, a judge may actually allow the supplementing of the supplemental filing here, just to head off the idea that he would appeal on the fact that it wasn't allowed. It's a shame. The guy's a scumbag. There's no way around it. The guy's a scumbag. He utilizes the court to try and punish people who don't do what he wants. That's the opposite thing that we want people to do. Okay. Let's do this. Perfect. We've got a few minutes left before I'll read super chats, and so I think we should take a look at this filing in the Critical K lawsuit. Wait a minute, is this a federal claim? Oh, this is a federal claim. Ooh, wasn't hot earlier, but it's hot now. All right. We are going to be talking about this lawsuit between Ray Andriacchio and Karen Yax, the Critical K. Critical K's name is Karen Yax. It is a documented, open to the public lawsuit. And the attorney for Ray Andriacchio is Matthew Wilson. Who, by the way, is a good dude. This for now. But I don't want to download it. I want to... Oh my God, open the... I hate Adobe sometimes. All right, here we go. Let's take a peek at the cause of action here. I haven't read this at all. So here's the complaint. Ray Andriacchio against Karen Yax, aka the Critical K. Her name is Yax. How fat of a name is a plural of a fat animal? Holy shit. And yes, she is a literal Karen. Correct. The preliminary statement. Plaintiff Ray Andriacchio. Oh, that's a female. Ray is a female. Is the mother of Christian Andriacchio, deceased, who died under suspicious circumstances on February 26, 2014 in Meridian, Mississippi. Plaintiff has devoted the last 7 years trying to bring her son's killers to justice. Defendant Karen Yax is a prominent social media figure known to her followers as the Critical K. Prominent, though. Defendant operates an internet webcast with over 17,000 subscribers in which she discusses numerous real crime stories from across the United States. By the way, I want some recognition like Russell Greer. I just want you to acknowledge that I was 100% right about these horrible fat mads, these nasty, ugly people. They're all true crime addicted, fat, lonely women. That's what they are. Like they're the people Sword and Scale make all their money off of, right? These and they love taking their money. Like that is not a diss to Sword and Scale. They're these sad, frumpy women addicted to true crime. And this is a growing problem. Have you ever been recommended a true crime podcast by like a man? It's like, hey, bro, you know what you should watch? You should listen to this true crime podcast. Probably not. But I bet you've been recommended one by a woman that you know. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. And it's okay to like true crime. There's a difference here. There's a difference between liking true crime and being one of the people that there's a list of people who get obsessed with it. And these are the women who are doxing people because they're talking bad about the Sophie case, right? Like that's who I'm talking about. Like every genre of everything has people who like it and then people who like it too far. But the list, like the category of people who like true crime too much, it's predictable. It's very, very predictable. And it's predominantly women. You're recommended Sword and Scale by me? Only because I like Mike. I've never listened to an episode. Okay. So Karen Yax, prominent social media figure. One such story involves the suspicious death of the plaintiff's son. Defendant believes that he committed suicide. Her webcasts expound upon her theories of the case. Okay. Defendant has done more than simply express her opinions about what happened to Christian Andriacchio. On one occasion, the defendant accused plaintiff of committing bribery, getting people drunk, and getting young people drunk. On another occasion, the defendant gave the impression to her audience that plaintiff, who is a mental health service provider, may have been responsible for the death of her son and another young man. Both sets of comments have defamed or painted plaintiff in a false light, thereby causing her to suffer injury to her reputation and or emotional damage. Ergo, she brings this suit against the defendant. Okay, so we've got defamation and false light. Okay. This court has subject matter jurisdiction under federal law for diversity jurisdiction because to complete diversity exists between the parties and the amount in controversy is greater than $75,000. This court has subject matter jurisdiction over this action under state law. Defendant is not a newspaper, a television station, or a radio station, nor is she a news reporting organization. Moreover, defendant is being sued for comments that she made during her online editorials, wherein she mixes false and or misleading statements with her opinions. Thus, no pre-suit notice is required. This section shall not apply to any editorial or to any regularly published column in which matters of opinions are expressed. Okay, so this whole point is all about this pre-suit notice being required by Mississippi Code. Gotcha. Oh my goodness. Spigot 84 says, Nick, please share the Russell Greer story on Flash's live show and impersonation required. Maybe. Victor Phantasm says, Nick, speak loudly. Alexa, play Lips of an Angel by Hinder. You're welcome, chat, for that one. Horowitz, Feinberg, and Horowitz says, you want recognition? Spinning that chair coon like Razor Fist. Do it. Do it. I gotta take my headphones off it. Like what? Fuck you, I was right. 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 Razor owns that, though. I'm probably gonna get sued by him now. Okay, back to reality here. Personal jurisdiction. Plaintiff is subject to the general personal jurisdiction of this court since she is a citizen of Mississippi. Defendant is subject to the specific personal jurisdiction of this court since her contacts with the state of Mississippi occurred when she committed the tortious actions complained of therein. A non-resident defendant shall be subject to personal jurisdiction in a federal diversity suit to the extent permitted by the laws of the forum state and the considerations of constitutional due process. Laws of Mississippi permit this suit to be heard here, and defendant has a requisite minimum contacts with the state. Okay. Since injury is necessarily required to complete a tort is considered to have been committed in part in Mississippi, where the injury results in the state. Okay, so here's his justification. He says, injury has happened here, and therefore, under Mississippi law, where injury happens within Mississippi, we have the tort being committed in Mississippi in part. Is that enough for jurisdiction? Don't know. Plaintiff suffered injury in the state. Therefore, pursuant to the Mississippi long-arm statute, the defendant is subject to this court's jurisdiction since she committed a tort in whole or in part in the state against a resident of this state. Thus, the laws of Mississippi permit this suit. There you go. There you go. During your live webcast, the defendant interviewed Mississippi residents over the telephone about the Christian Andriacchio case. Uh-oh. Now she's reaching into the state of Mississippi. That might actually be it. She has also conducted in-depth discussions about the official investigation file. It's prepared by Mississippi law enforcement personnel. I don't think this does anything personally, but calling Mississippi and interviewing residents might get there. She has also directed messages to the plaintiff personally on her live webcast, such as this one from on or about April 23rd. You're not ignoring me, Ray. You're very well aware of me, and you know that I've taken up for Dylan and Whitley, and I am a force to be reckoned with. I am a power ball. You never met a motherfucker like me, Ray. Yeah, get her, Karen. Get her, Karen. You're a bad bitch, Karen. Get her. Sorry, I got a little worked up. Thus, Mississippi is the focal point of defendants' discussions. Mississippi is where the plaintiff suffered harm. Mississippi is also where defendants directed her comments, such as the one above. Thus, per Calder v. Jones and Revel versus Lidoff, defendant has the requisite minimum contacts with the state of Mississippi. I don't know. Looks a little thin to me, but mainly because I don't think, like, I'm a real stickler on jurisdiction. I may go farther than the courts go, personally. So I can be wrong on this, but to me, I think it's a little thin. But I have a direct interest in protecting from being hailed into a jurisdiction the comments of online journalists. So take that how you will. Therefore, this court has jurisdiction over the parties because each party purposely availed itself of the jurisdiction of the state of Mississippi. Phone calls to the Mississippi residents or interviews or whatever might do it in conjunction with the harm being suffered in Mississippi. Venue, this is proper venue. Relevant facts. Okay. Need more liquor. I can't imagine saying I'm a force to be reckoned with. Because, okay, so, Ty once was talking to another attorney who was asking him about me on a matter and saying, what do I need to know about this person? And Ty said, he's meaner than you and he doesn't care. That's it right there. He's meaner than you and he doesn't care. That's where I go with things. Like, I'm a force to be reckoned with. You know who I am? No. Just an asshole. Like that. Do you really want to get entangled with an asshole? Like Yellow Flash never does, but why would you? On or about March 21st, 2021, defendant interviewed his name is literally Swear Engine, like in Deadwood. Defendant interviewed Dylan Swear Engine about the events leading up to the death of Christian Andriacchiano. During that webcast, defendant made the following statement about plaintiff. First thing I want to say is if Ray wants to try this case on social media, as she has attempted to do since 2017, I am happy to oblige her, right? I am happy to oblige her. And until now, she has really dominated the narrative about this case via intimidation, bullying, outright lies. And I sort of set the groundwork for that the other night, and I am going to continue to lay that groundwork and continue to provide proof of the things that I claim, that she has attempted to control the narrative via intimidation, bullying, lies, bribery, getting people drunk, getting young people drunk, etc., etc. And that is very troubling to me. But she has truly dominated the narrative, her and her family, her brother and her children, and it's time for the other side to have their say. It's time for the other side to have someone who takes up the mantle for them. Okay. I guess. Defendant's outrageous allegations about plaintiff in the above statement are false and defamatory. Specifically, but without limitation, plaintiff has not committed bribery, nor has she gotten people drunk, let alone young people. Plaintiff also denies intimidating and bullying people. But this one, bribery, that's per se defamatory. On or about April 11th, 2021, defendant interviewed Dylan Swearingen again along with Matt Miller. These are the relevant parts of the colloquy. So from Critical K. I'll do voices. Wasn't Hayes also treated by Ray? I don't know. I don't know that. Dylan, was Hayes treated by Ray? Dylan, we know you were. I was told I was told through someone else that sometimes that may have happened. I'm not 100% sure, so I can't vouch for it. But I am sure there is somebody in my group that if this is true can vouch for it. Yep. It seems to me that is something that I have heard. Seems to me that is something that I heard, that Hayes Mitchell was also treated by Ray. And that is what I need people to understand. There's a whole host of young people here, specifically teenagers and young adults, who've been treated by Ray in this community via her workplace. They've been treated both counseling-wise and medically by Ray. And some of those people who've been treated by her counseling-wise and medically have gone on to be accused by her of being involved in this. This is how far her reach goes. That wasn't Arnold. That wasn't Arnold. That was generic Austrian. By the way, fuck Arnold Schwarzenegger. To hell with your freedoms. Or whatever. You know, fuck you. Eat shit. I really do believe that Hayes was treated by Ray, and Hayes is now dead with a drug overdose. He was treated by Ray. He's dead also by self-harm. So she had a son that is dead by self-harm. She has a patient who is dead by self-harm. Weird. It's almost like I don't know this person from anybody, okay? I don't know anything about any of the people in this case. But what I do know is that a therapist or a psychologist is more predisposed to interacting with people who end up committing suicide or self-harm than anybody else on the planet, right? If you're a counselor or a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, you're probably dealing with people who are prone to self-harm. Defendant's assertion that plaintiff's son had died of self-harm is false. Defendant's comments about Hayes Mitchell, when juxtaposed against her false assertion about Christian Andriacchio dying from self-harm, leaves a false impression that plaintiff had somehow caused or contributed to their deaths. Citing Journal Publishing Company versus McCullough, describing how an underlying implication drawn from facially true statements may be sufficient to render the statements false. Defendant acted with actual malice when she made these comments. She also acted with reckless disregard for the truth in that she knew or should have known that the allegations were false or unable to be proven. Plaintiff has suffered injury as a direct and proximate result of these statements. So, we have defamation as a cause of action. I'm not trying to yawn back, good. I'm just literally exhausted. Defendant published the above false and defamatory comments that... Oh, by the way, after the show tonight, we're watching Major League on Twitch. Come watch Major League. Great movie. Great movie. Defendant published the above false and defamatory comments that have the capacity to injure plaintiff's reputation. These communications were not privileged. Defendant acted with actual malice, showing reckless disregard for the truth of the matter. Defendant published defamation that imputes to plaintiff conduct constituting a criminal offense involving moral turpitude and infamous punishment, e.g. bribery, by imputing a want of integrity or capacity in the conduct of plaintiff's trade or business, e.g. imputing responsibility for the death of an alleged patient. Thus, plaintiff does not have to prove special harm. This is interesting because this defames them within their profession, maybe defamatory per se. Icon of Sin, Wednesday is not a game night. I did a game night on game night, which was yesterday. Tonight is movie night. As a direct and proximate result of the defendant's defamation, plaintiff has suffered injury to her reputation and emotional distress. False light, invasion of privacy. If the court finds that the elements of defamation are not met for any of the comments referenced above, plaintiff alleges in the alternative that defendant committed the tort of invasion of privacy, false light. Defendant gave publicity to matters concerning plaintiff that placed plaintiff before the public in a false light that would be highly objectionable to a reasonable person. So the question is, would it be highly objectionable to say that a counselor is counseling victims into self-harm that causes their deaths? Yes, probably. Piddly game night where you immediately switch to a movie. I played that game for an hour and a half. Defendant had knowledge of or acted in reckless disregard as to the falsity of the publicized matter and the false light which plaintiff would be placed. Defendant gave unreasonable and highly objectionable publicity to false facts. The plaintiff had committed bribery, had gotten people drunk. Likewise, defendant gave unreasonable and highly objectionable publicity concerning plaintiff's alleged involvement in the deaths of her son and Hayes Mitchell. As a direct and proximate result of the defendant's false light, invasion of privacy, plaintiff has suffered injury to her reputation, emotional distress. Defendant is liable. The plaintiff prays for an entry of a judgment against defendant for compensatory and punitive damages in the aggregate amount of $10 million, plus all costs, attorney's fees, and post-judgment interest. Well, Critical K doesn't have $10 million. I'm not sure of much in this crazy, crazy world, but that I am sure of. All right, I'm not going to read through all these today. I'll probably do a short video on this. But Critical K is not complying with a court order. That's the recent update here. Critical K has been ordered by the court to try to resolve this with the other party. Basically, a required negotiation by the court. They have to meet and confer. They don't have to do much else, but they have to meet and confer. It's a requirement of Mississippi law. And she has not done so. So, despite prompting from Matt Wilson, the attorney, and the order of the court, they have refused, or she, who is unrepresented, has refused to actually confer with Matt. Look, you may not want to talk to him, but if you don't have a lawyer, if you're representing yourself pro se, you have to act as your attorney, which means when the court requires you to meet and confer, you have to meet and confer. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to agree to shit. You just have to meet and confer. That's all. But she isn't doing that. So right now, they're asking the court to order her again to comply with the order. Now, I know that sounds weird because, okay, wait, she didn't comply with the first order. Why are you going back to the court if she's not going to comply? In these actions, it's important to stack up W's where you can. To stack up W's where you can, you stack up the W's and you say, hey, she didn't do this, she didn't do this, she didn't do this. And if you can get the court to recognize those W's for you, though, that's like, it's like depositing, 10, 15, 20 bucks into a bank account. Where you show, I'm doing the right thing, court, she's not doing the right thing. And then when you need a moment of deference for whatever reason, you've built up a good cache of good stuff. So that is part of what's going on here. Also, there's a rule that they have to meet and confer before the next hearing. But long and short, Critical K is a fat mad named Karen Yaks. Tell me there's a... Okay, I don't know if that's her. I don't know if that's her. I want to... There we go. Who is she after here? Let's see if we can do this. This is super uninteresting to you guys because you're not watching. Come on now. Is this her? Oh, I don't know if this is her. Damn it. I can't put this person's picture up because I can't verify that it's her. Kind of looks like her. All right, never mind. Anyway, I'm sure there's a picture of her somewhere. She's probably a fat man. So much dead air. Nick should open a funeral parlor. Anyway, that's the case that's going on there. I'll be following along. I'll see if Matt would be interested in doing a basic interview on the case. She's Critical K on Facebook. I was looking for her personal one. Oh. The Critical K, because she probably doesn't have. Yeah, she's got a fake picture up as her profile. It's a illustrated picture. So that's not going to matter. Oh, here we go. Here. I guess I can post this one. This her with trying to work those angles. There you go. That's the Critical K. You can tell she's trying to work angles because look at the fucking calf dimple here. And the cankle going on. That's about all you need to know. Look, I have eyes for this. I am a trained fat detector. Okay? Years and years of fat racism have trained and honed my skills to perfection, and I am an expert. I am an expert at noticing the fatness, right? Like this dimple. I mean, that thing goes all the way through her leg, all the way through. She is trying really hard here to not look giant. Hedy Lamarr. No, I was never fat. I've always hated fat people. Like, I'm a racist against fat people. I didn't choose this. I didn't cross the fattest line. The fattest line crossed me with its fucking giant stomach. Look at the lines in the wood and see how they bend. It's been photoshopped. Yeah, they do. They bend. Look at this. Going up, going down. That is pretty funny. Yeah. Okay, I didn't notice that. I didn't even need that. She's also got a kazoo and a dog, so there you go. What else we got here? Let me just scroll down this one. Ugh. Picture's small, but here you go. Here's another one. Notice what's below the table? Everything. Okay. So anyway, where are we? Oh, we're done over there. We're done over there. All right. I'm going to read the super chats, then we'll wrap up the show. Because you don't have a critical mind. Any real fat phobic person will see the lines. They're trained to spot fat signals. I didn't need to. I drew the fat signals from the person themselves. As a man of substantial weight, I can confirm by looking at the stress on her calf muscle, she is indeed spending her life carrying blubber. All right. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and read through super chats, justice chats, wrap up the show, go to Twitch, watch Major League. I hope you found today's show entertaining. I really do. That's my goal every night, that you guys are entertained. If only for a moment, if necessary. But yeah, that you guys have a good time. So hopefully that happened. Tomorrow is Thursday. There could be Vic News. There could not be Vic News. We'll see. Don't know yet. But hoping, God, I want that case to end or move on. I want resolution in the appeals case so we can either be done with waiting for Vic every Thursday or start waiting for Vic on a daily basis because of new filings. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. All right, here we go. We're starting the chats. Tess Not on Holiday says, screw your freedoms. Yeah, the guy who's the son of an actual World War II Nazi should go terminate himself in Minecraft. Tradeo says, in Trump voice, Bainling, you're fired. Will not be missed. You turd gobbling curry reeker. I'd insult you. But God already did that through genetics, making you an Indian, you power-hungry wrench thrower. Time yourself out in Minecraft. Good day. Maybe you've heard of Minecraft. It's a little place where children go. And by putting you in Minecraft, I'm belittling you. I'm bebiggening myself because I'm very big, very large brain, wonderful brain. Lots of big words. A grandiose even vocabulary. I'm belittling you by putting you in Minecraft, you child. Bad Dragonite says, hi, my name is Nick Ricada, and I'd like to tell you that you can get little discount with a big nose, ridge.com/nose, that is. League of Fat Mad says, it has come to our attention that you keep trying to make us even madder than we currently are. We're sending this dono as a cease and desist, and if you keep on, we'll be forced to sue you for every Pop-Tart and donut in your pantry. Oh, I forgot something. Oh! Laura Elkind, the lawyer for Kelly Long, who sent me a nasty email. I just got it today. She also sent me a physical copy of the email. I got that letter today on her letterhead. I meant to show it to the stream. You've already seen the contents of it. It's the exact same. It was just a physical copy, so it was good. So not only was she mad enough to send an email, she was also mad enough to go to the post office and put a letter in the mail. Weird. Very weird. You were hoping for a new letter? Oh, me too. Me too. Mercenary X says, Nick, I was watching the Cyber Symposium from Mike Lindell, and apparently the judge in his defamation case ruled for Dominion to continue with the case. Yeah, I did a short on it. If this is true, free speech in the United States is now dead. Can we get a video on this because of this? Yes, I said in my short video that I'd probably be covering it tomorrow more in depth. Mr. Goffin says, hey, Nick, could you please give a GoFundMe a shout out? They could really use the help. Okay, I'll link it in the chat here. I don't know anything about this GoFundMe, but check it out. That's what they said. Nora Vanguard says, "Hi, Josh. How do us normies find U.S. arrest?" Who's Josh? Moon? U.S. arrest records online. Do we have to pay those third-party sites? Speaking of pay rackets, you mentioned a while ago the super lawyer status was one having to pay for it and not done by merit. Yeah, it requires a couple things. It requires a payment, and then it requires a bunch of recommendation letters from colleagues. So there you go. I mean, I don't consider that merit because it's usually done by firms that have connections with other firms, and they just go ahead and have people write the recommendations, and then suddenly they have super lawyers. But yeah, that's what that is. But no, typically, if you want arrest records, unless you go state by state, sometimes county by county, depending on the state, yeah, you got to pay a third-party site. And I know it's like $40 or whatever, but it saves you a ton of time going through all of the different states. And Kool-Aid, Nick Crusader Saracen says, "Nick, you ever worry that Russell Greer will try to sue you?" No. Even if the cause of action is totally bogus, totally facetious, fatuous lawsuits still sound like a pain in the neck to deal with. No, I don't worry about that at all. I have no concern that Russell Greer will sue me. One, I think he'd be very scared to do so. I think he's afraid of having to combat an actual lawyer. He sues other people for weird purposes. He uses lawsuits in a different way than people who are trying to receive legal remedy. Kool-Aid Man says, "Oh yeah, Nick, I don't know if I ever told you, but I used to kick it with Macho Man Randy Savage. We'd do fat rails and become the mega powers and run a train on Miss Elizabeth. So he tags me in. I finish on a face. I inspired his cream rises to the top promo." Thank you, Kool-Aid Man. Disgusting and horrifying. Snuggle Struggle says, "Every home that close to the Twin Cities requires such a bunker. Any without are asking for the mob to have free reign upon those they disagree with." I'm like 100 miles from the Twin Cities. Chagaval says, "Can't it be all things idiots don't use shop vac? Idiot didn't use shop vac?" The dust is just, it's everywhere. It's all over. It was like in the air. And it's settling. Kiwi Goes Live says, "You may be safe from a bomb, but you'll never be safe from my dumb, drunken super chats. Also, I missed a few streams, so how are those cigars I sent? Only smoked one of them. Smoked it on Locals," Kiwi Goes Live. By the way, if you're not on my Locals, I do Locals exclusive live streams where I sometimes have a drink and a cigar with the chat. Sometimes I'm in a hot tub, being a thought. Other times, I'm just sitting in a chair, hanging out. Got to check out Locals. Backcoat says, "At 200K, chat demands you get a tattoo." I already have tattoos. Xenobit says, "Have you heard from the law firm Dat Deed No Law?" Nope. No idea what that is. Dex Luther says, "At 200K, you should make a video of you crying while watching Gundam." Look, I will never, ever cry while watching Gundam. Was the crowdfunding campaign for a boob job? That's fucking fantastic. That's amazing. Patrick Augustus Caesar says, "Thanks for all the videos. Helps me get through the day plumbing. All Father bless you and yours." Hey, you too, brother. Mario Carter 13 says, "Hitting the wall takes forever, then all at once." Jim McCobb says, "Yo, Nick, I have connection and direct contact info with the KSU law professor and author Wilfred Riley recently on Timcast. Would speaking to him interest you?" Yes. I have no idea what about. Why was he on Timcast? What's he talk about? I love refrigerators. No, I'd definitely be interested in talking to him. What's his gig? Shagaval says, I'm a lease-to-own trucker. Please explain how to get a PPP loan and not pay for it later. Would be nice to know about that sort of thing. Ty and I did a whole stream on this. We did a whole show on it. Independent contractors, 1099 workers, however you're paid. YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, they all pay through 1099s, okay? So if you're a 1099 worker or self-employed in any capacity, all you do is go to your bank, apply for the PPP loan up to the maximum limit. Then you, as justification, show your taxable income based on 1099s or whatever you provide to them, and then they approve it or they don't. And then, since you're an independent contractor, all you have to do is pay your own salary with the money, and then it's forgivable. That's it. There you go. You win. It's free. It's literally free money. The government has already budgeted whether you take it or not. If you don't take it, someone else will, or the program will eat it up. But it's already budgeted. But I don't know if they're still giving out 1099 or if they're still giving out PPP loans. You got to check. The asterisk says, concerning your watch parties, have you had the pleasure to view the Velocipaster? I've not watched that yet. Isaac Maccabee says, I don't know if you're an ANCAP, but you sure sound like it sometimes. Maybe. If I send a copy of Michael Malice's The Anarchist Handbook to your P.O. Box, would you read it? I'd love to say yes, but I'd probably be lying to you just because I don't have time. I would like to read it. In theory, I want to read it. I just don't know if I get around to it. Shagaval says, you have how many kids? 5. You know where to finish. Malik Foxon says, thought Streamlabs said it was a glitch. Bah, F them then, I guess. Back to Super Chats till something better comes along. Look, no. They banned me for a violation of term of service. Don't know what term I violated. Don't know what the violation was. Won't let me appeal it. Malik Foxon says to the person that made that call, how embarrassing. Shagaval says, we demand the most sarcastic and cutting apology. Jagger Kai says, Nick, I really like the host of your show, but I think he's just unaware of how emotional Gundam is and how you might cry during it. Flash will never live down crying during fucking Gundam. Gundam touched me, says, I've come to touch you. Hashtag me too. You can't. James Russell says, baby won't stop crying. It's 1,000,000 degrees and I need to get up for an interview in a few hours. Thanks for giving me something to enjoy tonight. Brother, I remember those days. I remember those days. You can do it. Provolone Loafs has been lifting 3 weeks now. Feeling better and getting stronger every cycle. Start moving plates, my bros. Build that muscle. It's healthy and masculine. Kalinka Pavlova says, that face when tipping isn't a part of your culture. New Zealand. All-Star Apologist says, as someone who delivers pizza as a job, it's very annoying when someone doesn't tip. It's also something I made peace with when I started. Yeah, no, it sucks. Don't get me wrong. You want to get the tips, right? Like, look, I'm a tip economy. No one's forced to do super chats. In theory, I get paid by YouTube with watch time from YouTube Red, as long and ad revenue. And if I do shows where people don't pay up as much as other shows, I'm like, what the fuck did I do? What did I do wrong? But hey, that comes with the territory. Comes with the fucking territory. Galeron Runner says, I'd tip more, but they already charge more per item plus the delivery fee. Exactly. Fan Advocacy Network says, I don't tip my Amazon, UPS, USPS, or FedEx drivers. This crying over not getting tips is more embarrassing than crying over Gundam on stream. Malik Fox says, I'm not paying someone extra $5 for cold food. Damn. Xenobit says, that Uber Eats guy who was crying, I found out he delivered to Yellow Flash. I don't even have Uber Eats in my town. I don't even have it. in town here. I can't even get it where I live. I would love it. I have to go drag my ass out to the store, to the restaurant to get the food myself. I'd tip well, because I do. I always try and tip a minimum of 20%. Just because I feel like, again, my job is all tips. I know the gig. Mario Carter 13 says, get that stripper a GoFundMe. She needed that $20. Checkerval says, wait, tipping women or tipping over women? Cows. Josh Gaming says, dust the top of your monitor. Cherokun demands it. This is all from today. This monitor is like basically new. It's all from today. Mario Carter 13 says, some people would pay good money to slurp dusty lips. Gross. Human Crouton says, good lips to nose ratio. I'm horning it up. Tanner Anderson says, here's $5 to never show Russell's face again. Please, God. Well, thank you for that. I definitely want to honor and respect that. I really appreciate the super chat. That's fantastic. It's insane how people will do this, right? Like they'll show Russell Greer's face. They don't prepare people for it, and they just do it. But I don't want to do that. Thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Again, Giant Mess says, just because someone looks like they have a face that even stroke victims think looks sad doesn't mean being an asshole should be the go-to thing. Walter Deadman says, whoa, whoa, whoa. So someone legitimately documented that the internet is serious business. Not applicable. Message retracted twice. All-Star Apologist says, why is Russell trying to date a Fortnite character? Good question. 200 Watt Studio says, has Greer ever seen Tie Me Up, Tie Me Down? He thinks he's Antonio Banderas. I have no idea. Zero Foxy says, which sadistic person put an S in the word lisp? That's fucking rude. Lisp. Timothy Reaper says, with Greer lips. I can do this. You sing through your song, okay? Your song is very popular. But I'm a crease. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong here. Thank you, Timothy Reaper. I hope that was the best $2 you ever spent. 200 Watt Studio says, doesn't Taylor and Ariana understand that Greer just wants the simple pleasure of the sensation of his lips locking on their lips for just one moment? Stop it. He also says, Greer just wants to feel the sensation of Ariana's tongue on his lips like the Lucky Myriad donuts in that donut shop. God, donuts are so fucking good. Sam Pack says, say with Greer lips. I may be disabled, but at least I didn't cry during Gundam War in Pocket. How fucking embarrassing is that? Imagine crying during an anime like a Veda. Not even I would cry during anime. Barnacle Blackburn says, on a side note, I talked to my black coworkers about slavery. They weren't big on it, but their great-grandparents were sold on the idea. Oh, stop. Stop that. Shakaval says, judge eating popcorn. Let him go on. Fascinating. Bullet Shepherd says, Nick, try Hootem and Young American whiskey. Not overly pricey. Good notes and aftertaste, 120 proof. Love to. I've never found Hooten and Young. Sounds good. Red Bell says, good man. Thanks for being a voice of reason and hope. Also, that is also a terrifying indictment of the time we live in. Thanks from a youngster. Dude, it's bad. It's bad. I'm old, and all I can say is, dude, trust me, it's bad. Angry Bellsprout says, Prego chick deserves $0 tip for doing her job. Simp. Nick's Hex says, please check out the link in the streaming channel on Discord. It's about Critical K's hatred of Jews, the Udon, and is 110% worth reading on stream. Not tonight. Not tonight. But we're going to do a Critical K stream. I'm going to set it up. I'm going to be like, it's time to address Critical K. We're going to talk about her lawsuit. We'll talk about her. It's going to be funny. Chambers of My Heart says, check your DMs on Discord. Jeff has been waiting for you to contact him. Hate to be a bother. There's been new updates to the case as well. I will contact Jeff. Look, he is high on my list. I've just been very, very busy this week, having to, like yesterday, I was out of commission all day. So I will gladly contact him. The Jeff she's talking about is Jeff Younger. He is the father of James Younger, whose mother has been trying to transition him. There's a nasty custody case over it. I think we might be able to get Jeff on the show. I think that's going to be a great show, by the way. Trucker Rob says, love the fat hate. It motivates me. Me too. I'm way fatter than I should be. Not even kidding. I'm down. Don't clap for this. Make fun of me. I'm down only 5 pounds from when I noticed I hit 200. The fattest I've ever fucking been is 206. But I hit 200 recently after being back down to 185 to 187, which is where I want to be. Hit the 200, and I've been working really hard on being less fat. So it sucks, and you don't have time for it, but do it. And when people call you fat and tell you you're a fat fucking slob with diabetes who's probably going to die at 30, yeah, run harder. Try harder. You need to do it. You need to do it. You're looking pretty obese. Look, I'm above my ideal BMI. I've never been a big guy. I've always been thin. Always, my entire life. I was probably well below BMI for most of my life, but once I hit about somewhere in my 30s, probably 33 is when I started actually gaining weight. For the longest time, I couldn't. Started gaining weight, and then it was like, okay, I need to rest around 185. Based on my height, that's where I should be. If I'm not 185, I'm being lazy. I'm being fucking lazy. That's more important than the actual size of the appearance. Is my own personal knowledge that every number above 185 is me being fucking lazy. How tall am I? 6'2" to 6'3". So I should be 185 with a low body fat percentage, but I'm fucking lazy. And so people need to call me out on it. People need to call you out on it too, fat ass. You fatso. You fat fucking, you sweat ice cream fatso. Jesus Christ. Can you try, get in a sauna, but try and keep the other fats away from you? I know it's hard with the fucking gravity you exert to keep anything away from you. Can you just try not eating for 30 seconds? You're sweating all over all the food, and I know it. You're like, oh, that's just seasoning. That's just salty. It's great. I love it. No, stop it, you fat fuck. You fat piece of shit. You're going to die at 32, you fatso. Stop it. Oh, my God. If a car hit you, you'd splatter into a fucking meat rack. That's how fucking fat you are, you disgusting pig. Stop being fat. Stop being fat. Go live. I want you guys to live. And I want you guys to be a better life. Have a better life. Stop being fat. Eldon Bainling says, got your AC, eh? How about you get a ceiling? I don't have my AC. I'll have my AC tomorrow. Travis Crust says, how? And I have a ceiling, you asshole. I just don't have drywall on it because it's stupid. Travis Crust says, how do I find my mugshot in Arizona? Google yourself. Otherwise, I don't know. You should be able to go to the courthouse where you either go to or email the courthouse for your own mugshot. You can do that. Batgoat says, want a tip? Improve your service. There you go. Kidda says, just so we're on the same page, DoorDash tips are taken upon checkout before delivery. It's usually $3 to $5 and apparently most of their pay. So they know they're not getting tipped when they do the delivery. Is that what you're taking? Is that what you're telling me? They know they're not taking their $3 to $5. Well, it's usually $3 to $5 because it's usually like a delivery of one meal, right? Like you're paying $18.95 for your meal and you're gonna tip $3 to $5. That makes sense. Yes, they'll be told they're getting $0. That's insane. Again, if I'm gonna get $0, I'm not gonna take the fare. Just don't take the fare. Mr. Bentham says, you heard him, boys. Nick likes the chat's tip. Gundam Touch Me says, you're going to get touched in a way that will make you feel happy, sad, and mad. A real mixed bag of emotions. I don't even have emotions. Why is the booze painting sideways now? It's they're still working. It actually wasn't even on stream for a while. They're still working in my office tomorrow. And they have to build a scaffolding, or they have to have ladders and shit. They have to have this entire side clear. So all my stuff got moved over here while they work. So the booze painting I just put in the background to have some color. Ascended President Not So Handsome Jack says, yesterday a coworker, he's black, with an ego tried to pull a seniority stunt. Even though I have seniority, I shut that shit down afterwards and called him out on it. Then he threatened me. I told him to hold the fucking attitude. Did I do good, Niku-chan? Yeah. Yes. In the workplace, it's good to be direct, logical, and correct. That's it. Be direct, be logical, be correct. Hey, no, you shut the fuck up. You shut your goddamn mouth. Let me tell you the truth. Slow your roll. Xenobit says, can you say big money, big prizes, I love it in Kermit voice with the lips? It's supposed to be big money, big prizes, I love it. Well, gee, here we got the big money, big prizes. I love it. Fucking hate these lips. 200 Watt Studio says 9 of 10 pizza drivers complain Yellow Flash always demands extra napkins because he needs them for his watery eyes as he only watches Gundam with pizza. Oh my God. Rad Bell. Guys, if you're not watching the Flashcast on Saturday, you're missing a hell of a funny show. Especially, look, I can't vouch for when I'm not on there, but especially when I'm on there. I'm on there most Saturdays. During the summer, I show up late. It starts at 9 p.m. Central Time on Flash's channel. I usually show up around 11 to midnight, depending on the day, but I cannot sell it enough. You want a funny show? That's a funny show. It really is. It's a good one. Red Bell says, also, the conversation between you and Ty are great. I'm going to have him on again very soon. He actually messaged me over the weekend, said, hey, are you streaming tonight? And I was like, no, I'm not. But I think we'll be having a show pretty quick. Shakaval says, fat trucker here. Started the year 400 pounds, down 45 pounds. Dude, you have one of the hardest non-fat jobs on the planet because you sit for really extended periods of time. And like the most common food that's available to you is fast food. You have a hard job, brother. I commend you. Being down 45 pounds is fantastic. Get that exercise where you can. Install one of those fucking things like Stallone had, where he's just doing this all day, practicing his he's got a fucking tension wire and he's practicing his fucking arm wrestling. Do something. $200 Studio says, Nick, please do that fat speech on EVS's Peloton. Does he have a Peloton, the bike or the treadmill? Oh, that's embarrassing. Master Blaster says, Nick, stop yelling at me. My schwang can only get so stiff. Fuck YouTube. Had to edit out naughty words to send. Xenobet says, should I do an edit with your fat rant with mundane Matt off to the side crying? If you want to, do it. Do it. I haven't even copy striked the fucking channels that blatantly steal my content. I'm not going to copyright strike you. Let me know if you're going to take my show, just let me know what you're going to do. And I'm 99.99999% okay with it. So, go ahead. If you tell me as a courtesy, I really appreciate it. But yeah, go do it. Clip out the fat rant and just make mundane Matt crying like a fucking weirdo. Crying like a fucking weirdo. Okay, and I think that's about it. What do we got here? Oh, no, there's a couple Streamlabs here. Law and Order narrators. In the internet, stupidity-based offenses are considered especially heinous. In a Minnesota basement, the dedicated lawyer and his black best friend who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite unit known as the Stupid Victims Unit. These are their stories. Dun, dun. That one guy says, I don't know, if you don't have a wife and kids and you don't intend to live to 80, being skinny is pretty retarded. Who cares if you don't die alone being tortured by nurses in a rest home once everyone you know or loved is already dead? Eat what you want. No, there is certainly a balance, right? Like I'm not sitting here saying eat only kale and salmon or something. No. Stop that. But just your own fucking comfort of standing up and not having your knees hurt. Lose some weight. Death Trout says, my girlfriend weighed over 300 pounds at one point, hated the way she looked. So she started eating right and exercising and lost over 150 pounds. I want to reduce women by half. That is the fucking goal. Not the number of women, but the aggregate mass of women. I want more women weighing less than they do now on the whole. That is the greatest thing I can possibly hear. I love nothing more than fat women getting skinny. Do it. Do it. Get skinny. You look, Beyonce said all the single ladies, you can't be single if you're 3 fucking ladies big. You can't do it. It's not possible to be single at that point. You're always in a crowd. You're always sweating next to someone else. Stop it. Stop being big. Stop. You owe it to yourself to not be fucking fat. Look, everybody likes Taco John's, Taco Bell, Arby's, Hardee's, McDonald's, Burger King. Stop, though. Once a week. Fast food once a week. Make fresh food. Just make fresh food. It's easy. I'll cook for you. I'll teach you how to cook. Whatever you want. You got to join my locals. You can pay for this shit. I'll teach you how to cook. It's so simple. I'll give you fast recipes. 20 minutes. 15 minutes. Faster than driving to the fat factory. Stop being fucking fat. Stop being fat. Get yourself healthy. Please. Look, if you contribute to me and you die because you're fat, I lose money. Think of me. Think of me, you bigot. What am I supposed to do if all you fucking fatos die on me? Shagaval says, I've got resistance rubber tubing that goes up to a couple 100 pounds. Got plenty of stuff to do gym workouts, but yeah, food is hard. Food is the hardest part. Coming from me, look, especially when you run, right? When you run and like you go on a run, you run 10 miles, you burn like 1,200 calories. Oh my God. You sit down, all you want to do is eat like a whole fucking lasagna. I feel it, man. Stop eating. Stop eating so much. Eat less. I looked up the Henry Cavill diet. It's how you get short arms. His breakfast is like a fucking steak and ham omelet and then a cup of oats. That's a killer fucking breakfast. His pre-workout lunch is white rice and chicken because he's racist. His post-workout lunch is brown rice and chicken because he regrets being racist. And then his dinner is fucking steak and sweet potatoes. How can you argue with this? You do that, you look like Henry Cavill. That's it. You do that and you fucking pump iron all day. Do it. You got little manlet arms, little fucking midgety arms or whatever. But, you know, that Star Wars girl is soaking chairs every time you walk by. That's what you want in life. Go be Henry Cavill. The reality is, though, no matter how hard you work out, if you want to look toned, you want to look lean, you got to eat right. I was at a gym, and it said 10% of abs are made in the gym, 90% of abs are made in the kitchen. Food is the hardest part. Food is the hardest part. That's why power lifters, those strongman competitors and shit like that, so they're all big, burly, barrel-shaped dudes. It's because they don't eat to be lean. They eat to have enough protein to lift fucking 1,000 pounds. So they're a different body shape. But if you want to be, you're not that though. You're not out there deadlifting 1,000 pounds. You can be leaner. What if I want to attract a woman that doesn't eat dirt? Look, well, get longer arms. That's it. That's it. Willie Pro 63 says, back when I used to work for the delivery companies, we were guaranteed 10 hours or $10 per hour if we took all the ones we were assigned, but we forfeited that if we didn't. There you go. Tucson Sky says, love your content, but fat shaming was over the top. No, I fat shame out of love. Stop being fat. Stop being fat. I'm fat shaming myself, by the way. I don't know. Do people not realize this? I am an unshapely fucking fatso. I am trying to be thinner. I'm not fat shaming you from a position of authority or power. I'm fat shaming you from a position of camaraderie. Let's get less fat together. Mario Carter, I'll get it. Gundam Touch Me says, if I'm fat, the more ash that can be put in the Starbucks coffee when I die. Mr. Bentham says, that pic you made of Henry Cavill was hilarious. That was his normal picture. What are you talking about? It's okay, Nikki. The camera adds 10 pounds to the nose. Yeah, but I look at my stomach and reality adds 10 pounds to me. Mario Kart 13. You're right. I did miss this one. A hate crime occurred in the parking lot of the Pump and Munch today. A car door got dinged just because it was black. The FBI are en route as we speak. Eldon Bainling says in Trump's voice, ceilings are good. They make the room whole. I love ceilings. They're beautiful. I have golden ceilings in Trump Tower and at the White House. those Minnesotan lawyers, they don't have ceilings. They're wrong. They're wrong, repeatedly wrong. Have you ever known a Minnesota lawyer to be correct? None of them could win any cases on my election or my erection. Terrible. Bastard lawyers. Terrible. Awful lawyers. Didn't even try, really, when you think about it. What they got ceilings. They call those ceilings not even finished. Not even finished. Have you heard of taping, mudding, and painting? You pathetic person. Look, I get the Chinese to come in. They paint very well. They do great. They do a wonderful job. Little short. You got to invest in ladders to get them up there to paint the ceiling, but they do an okay job when you get them up there. Okay, so there you go, guys. That is that. I think that's everything. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Hope you guys come to Twitch for Major League tonight. I've got some Cajun dirty rice that I made earlier today. I really wanted to film it, but I had to rush it, so I didn't have time to film it. But I'll do a Cajun dirty rice in the very near future for you guys. It's really fucking easy, and it's really good. But I'm going to eat some on my Twitch show. So come over to twitch.tv/Recato and watch Major League with me. I'll see you guys in just a minute. Peace. Peace. Wait, fuck. Peace. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some law-splaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a bow, more a love rug. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear law-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all planet folks from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear law-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what